And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Of course, a brand new day. It is hump day now. Hard to believe half the week is gone. And as of this weekend, half the month of October is going to say bye to that with only a couple of weeks left until Halloween. And we close out the year, too, with some great shows coming up over the next few weeks as we're presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, out there at Honky Tonk, Texas. Appreciate all the work that our sponsors do. Make sure you check them out at the bottom of the screen there on the scroll. Go show them some love and tell them you heard about him here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com and also out there internet streaming at hightidecountry.net. Pleased to welcome in my featured artist of the day. She is causing a ruckus out there in a good way, which is great there. Whose single is called Redneck Rich. Erin Kirby joins us here on the show. Erin, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
It's a good day. I got stuck in traffic on the way home, but you know what? We're here, which is good.
That's all we can ask for.
All we can ask for, no doubt. Well, hey, tell the folks a little bit about yourself when it comes to music. I know a lot about you, but I'd rather hear it coming from you guys. It means a lot more. Just talk about the upbringing and the connection to music from a young age, because it kind of feels like you've wanted to do this a long time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I am from Georgia. I'm from a really small town in North Georgia called Jasper. And even though I grew up in a very redneck town, country music wasn't something that I grew up on. My mom's from Chicago, so it was always, Motown, definitely some like R&B stuff thrown in there. And when I first started singing, I decided to start in pageantry.
Mm-hmm.
And I would only sing James Brown, Etta James, Nina Simone. And then eventually, as I grew older, started writing music, releasing my own stuff, I fell in love with country music. And that's when the pandemic happened. It gave me the opportunity to fall in love with all of our land, our animals, just living that country life, and getting outside of the world of Atlanta, the city side of things, and also the pageant side of things. I was definitely done with that at that point. So being able to just become the country girl that I really am was amazing. So I started writing country music, started releasing it just this year, and it's been incredible.
Which is pretty awesome, too. And I want to go back to this because all these things happen just out of the blink of an eye when it's supposed to happen. Timing is everything. And I've learned that in just the business I'm in, radio, podcasting for a lot of years. Talk about this collaboration, because I read somewhere one of my favorite guests here on the show we've gotten to talk to a couple of times, Cameron Marlowe, had come by here and talked to us about a special song you guys put out. And did I read somewhere he actually invited you to the Grand Ole Opry to perform the tune? Tell us about that.
Yes, so that was a crazy experience. Last November, Cameron Marlowe posted a TikTok looking for a female to duet his song, I Can Lie, The Truth Is. And I decided, why the heck not? I'm a huge fan of Cameron, so I'll post it and maybe he'll see it and that'll be that. Like, I never thought that it would do what it did. So I posted the video. It immediately started gaining attention from people. People are tagging me in Cameron's videos, tagging Cameron in my videos. And that was going on for months. There wasn't really anything I could do on my end other than just say, thank you so much for the support. But, I don't know what's happening with this song. And then I noticed that Cameron put out his version of the song. And to me, I just was like, that's awesome. Cameron saw my video. I love the song, so I'll go ahead and cover it again. Why not? It's going to be on my playlist. So I did that. Cameron saw that. And just a few weeks later, I thought I was going to lunch with my manager, and Cameron ended up surprising me in a studio and asking me to cut the song that day. So we went ahead, cut the vocals, and they actually called me just before the song released. And he was like, hey, well, I was wondering if you'd like to play the Opry with me. We can debut the song there. And of course I said yes. Every time Cameron would ask me these questions, he'd be like, if you don't want to. I'm like, Cameron, we just don't even need to put that part in there. I absolutely want to. So it was a full circle moment, actually, because the first time I ever attended the Opry, Cameron was playing. So being able to play there for the first time with Cameron was really awesome. And the song has just done really great things. I love the song. It's incredible. And I'm a huge fan of Cameron. So it was really an honor to be on it.
Great music. A lot of people know him. Just a little show called The Voice that he was on that made him huge out there. And, of course, he worked his tail off to get where he's at today, and definitely headlining his own tours, and just a fantastic artist in his own right. Well, tell us all about this one before I have you play a couple of songs. I love it. It's got just great feel to it, and it's got great energy. There's so much to like about this new single. Redneck Rich out there, which definitely has a little bit of the upbringing side that you mentioned about the redneck country town, and just kind of a whole lot of just that sparkle in it, like to call, because it's you don't hear something like this every now and then. Tell us about this song.
So I wrote the song with Chris August and Skip Black. It was just a really fun session. I went in and I had this idea, Redneck Rich, and I was like, guys, I see it on both sides. One side of it being like, there's these redneck things that we're so incredibly rich with the things that God has given us. And that's like the dirt roads, the awesome friends to be around, the stars, and all these things he provides for us, whether that's fish or, bucks or whatever.
Mhm.
So there's the other side that everyone wants to grow up, be rich, and live in a mansion. But my goal was always to just have a truck that's so big that I can live in it like a mansion.
Mhm.
So one day we'll get to that goal. But I wanted to put those two little thoughts together and end up with this. We ended up with the song Redneck Rich, and it was everything that I wanted in a song. And I fell in love with it and immediately needed to put it out.
Great writing there. Came out there August 11th, so just a couple of months now that people have gotten to enjoy that too. I can't wait to ask here in a little bit what's coming up next, because I know you guys never rest on your laurels when it comes to musicians. Always something else is in the can there to get out to the fans there. Well, I tell you what are we going to hear first? I always say dealer's choice, and you get to pick here on the show.
I think since we just talked about Redneck Rich, I might go ahead and play that one if that works.
Why not? So we just talked about it. Perfect timing. It's all yours.
All right. Back when I was younger, saved up every dime I had just to find out that big field of stars was free for me to have. The best things in life are God-given, just like a red dirt road, or be around a backyard fire pit with everyone I know. I got a creek out back with a honey hole, a Labrador and an old Zepco, a shotgun rifle and a 45 in a truck that's set for 4-wheel drive. It ain't much, but that's all the stuff I need. So swing a little my way out in the sticks, raise one up if you're redneck rich. Don't need no bank account or commas, I don't drive a fancy car. Steer clear of big city drama and pricey rooftop bars, while I work all day for money to buy a penthouse view of just another penthouse. Looking back at you, I got a creek out back with a honey hole, a Labrador and an old Zepco, a shotgun rifle and a 45 in a truck that's set 4-wheel drive. It ain't much, but that's all the stuff I need. So swing a little my way out in the sticks, raise one up if you're redneck rich. I gotta use your boat on the trailer hitch. That's how you float when you're redneck rich. If I get hungry, I'll catch a fish. No reservations when you're redneck rich. Real good friends pull you out the dish. Don't need AAA when you're redneck rich. I got a creek out back with a honey hole, a Labrador and an old Zepco, a shotgun rifle and a 45 with a truck that's set for 4-wheel drive. It ain't much, but that's all the stuff I need. So swing a little my way out in the sticks, raise one up if you're redneck rich.
I love that song, man. It's got such great feel to it, too. It definitely explains a lot of us here back. Redneck Rich from Erin Kirby out there across all the digital platforms. If you can relate to that, leave some comments in the comment box, too, growing up, because I had all those things. Honey Hole Outback, Sebco, Labrador. Everything was made country here in Texas, especially where I'm from in Southeast Texas here. We'll take a quick time out. More with Erin here. We'll talk about the music video. She got to shoot a fabulous music video for that song. We'll talk about the specs and different specifics of that too when we come back, as far as where it took place and all that good stuff. Here on the Backstage Pass, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Honky Tonk Texas, and of course out there at HighTideCountry.net and live at the Sports Guys podcast.com. More with Erin Kirby. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And back here on the show, the Backstage Pass again at hightidecountry.net, and of course the Sports Guys podcast.com, powered by that very website, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, and of course out there at Honky Tonk, Texas. Tomorrow, big show. The rapper, of course, global icon, artist, and actor. He's done it all. Multi-platinum artist Chingy is going to be here on the show with us, talking about his latest release, and of course, more next week. Josh Turner here on the Backstage Pass. Back here with Erin Kirby, Redneck Rich, the current single. So tell us about this music video, because I got to see this. A lot of fun went into this too, and I'll always love the specifics as to where it took place, who reached out to shoot it, where the location, things like that. Tell us all about the music video for Redneck Rich.
Yeah, so we shot the music video in Madison, Tennessee. The videographer actually found a camper. He had listened to the song, and he found this camper up there in Madison, and he sent it over and said, if this is not the vibe, that's totally fine, but I just thought I'd send this and see what you guys think. And as soon as I opened the link, I was like, this is it. This is so Redneck Rich. There was like a creek right behind with all the roads nearby with the barns and everything. And then this perfect, cute little camper, and it was teal, and I just loved it. So we went out there. It was really cool. My mom was able to come with me and be there while we shot the video, and just getting out there and really bringing Redneck Rich to life even more than the song had already done. It was, he saw the vision perfectly, and it definitely came to life perfectly. I actually had a friend who has a massive truck who I'm very jealous of, and I was going to borrow his truck for the video, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But that's okay. The rest of the video was perfect and very Redneck Rich. So yeah.
And it's cool how those things kind of come together. It's meant to be. And I mentioned, timing is everything. Hey, talk about one of your favorite, you've been doing this. You mentioned kind of COVID and putting things out there. The musical, memories, or kind of what's happened, how fast you've grown so far. Talk about one of your special moments that's occurred that it kind of happened fast that you may not have expected.
Yeah, so I love singing. This is going to be so random. I love singing the national anthem. It is like my favorite song to sing. And I've had the opportunity, before I turned 18, I was able to sing the national anthem at every major sporting event in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, but the one thing I didn't get to do was sing, during halftime at a Falcons game. That is super rare. But they actually were having something last October for breast cancer awareness. They were doing a performance, and they reached out that week, and they were like, if you can perform this weekend, that'd be awesome. And immediately I said, I will be there. Just going to sound check, being able to be a part of that. I got to sing Rise Up by Andra Day. It was a really cool experience. Being able to check that off my bucket list, singing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for a Falcons game is just amazing.
Kind of a cool thing too. You mentioned the Falcons. I got the other birds here on my head too, which is my team that I've rooted for too. So I get to root for Atlanta. Now, when they play my other birds, I've got to go with the Cardinals in Arizona. But I'm actually catching both teams in November in Arizona at State Farm Stadium. We're going to go out there to that ball game and actually get to see the Cardinals play the Falcons in Arizona this year too. So definitely, we're not off to a great start. You guys are. You just beat the Texans last week too. See sports music, how it overlaps. There's always that connection too. But a great feel to sing the anthem in those large, big venues, because like you said, it has to give you those chill bumps just up and down the arms, up and down the spine. It's just got to be fantastic and mind-blowing with those crowds that walk in there to attend NFL games.
Definitely. Being able to just, once sing such a song that everyone knows, everyone loves, being able to do that. And there's between like Atlanta United, the soccer team, they have these chants that they do when you sing the national anthem, which is a really cool experience. And I've also had the opportunity to have every game gives me like a jersey with my name on it, and sometimes I get some number, so I'll put like a year on there, and that's been really cool. I even got to sing at a UGA baseball game. That was awesome.
There
I'm
you
a big Georgia fan. I'm more of a SEC girl than NFL.
There you go.
But yeah, being able to do that and sing a song that everyone knows and loves is really, really awesome.
Well, number one team in the nation trying to do something in college football that hadn't been done in quite a long time, a three-peat when it comes to national championships, and one of the best and most respected programs out there, too. Kirby Smart does a great job with that football team. And I've enjoyed, down here, the hype was last year we get to the face TCU in the game, and I'm going, look, man, TCU's not in the category of the Georgia Bulldogs as of yet. So when you join the SEC conference, you got to be pretty much headstrong and definitely ready to play big boy football. And no disrespect to the other conferences out there, but the Southeastern Conference is the best, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I might also be a little biased for Kirby Smart with his name. Okay. Love the name.
I love the name, yes. I was drawing that connection when I heard it's your last name to that. Hey, nothing wrong, Kirby, a great name. And, of course, hey, coming from that program such as Alabama that's been built by Nick Saban for so many years. And I love just watching SEC football. College, I'll root for the Aggies. Of course, this year, 4-2, something like that, and losing to Alabama by 6 last week. So I love college football, and that's one of my favorite things to do on a Saturday. Hey, before we have you play the next one, let's talk about one that came out this year, Boys These Days. I love the feel of this one, too, and a lot of fans could resonate with this song. And it was one of those messages that, yeah, I guess when you think back, being a guy, just kind of, it's a 2 and 2 kind of conundrum. They're the same thing because there is a market for a song like this, and I know it did well for you.
Yeah, it's really scary because I feel like you're reading my mind right now. That was the next song I was going to sing was Boys These Days. So somehow we're connected here.
We're connected, girl. We are, yeah.
Yeah, Boys These Days I wrote with Kylie Sackley and Joey Hyde, and it was another fun session. We started out writing a love song, and I was like, guys, that previous week I had food poisoning. So I was like, guys, I'm one, just not a happy camper right now. 2, I'm not in love. So let's write something that is more Erin going on here. And I actually had an experience where a guy had just completely stood me up on a date, ended up blocking me on everything for no reason. I didn't even know him really. So we decided, I was just talking about that. And Joey goes, what is going on with the boys these days? And I said, oh, that is the song. That is what we're going to be doing. So we wrote that song super quickly, and it became a favorite. Just being able to tell a true story, especially when it's like my first country single, having a song that many people can relate to is really important to me.
Well, I love it too. And like I said, perfect segue here. She's going to perform that now. Reading her mind there too, which is great. Like a Kirby Smart type of situation. Both reading the minds there. Great minds think alike. And Erin Kirby is going to perform Boys These Days right here. Take it away.
Don't blow up your phone. Try to get too close. Get your feeling things start to reel you in, and then there he goes. Know how to work that charm. Get you in the palm. Other hands start talking big plans just to break your heart. What's going on with all the boys these days? Whatever happened to the old child ways? Did all the cowboys up and right away? What's going on with all the boys these days? I know the mamas try to raise them right, but they're just messing around on Friday nights. It's like they're all just playing one big game. What's going on with all the boys these days? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, they'll call you baby, but they won't buy daisies. Yeah, they're hot and they're cold. Only thing that I know is they're gonna drive me crazy. What's going on with all the boys these days? Whatever happened to the old John ways? Did all the cowboys up and right away? What's going on with all the boys these days? I know the mamas try to raise them right, but they're just messing around on Friday nights. It's like they're all just playing one big game. What's going on with all the boys these days? Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Well, is there something in the water of whiskey girl or is it ever just me? What's going on with all the boys these days? Whatever happened to the old John ways? Did all the cowards up and right away? What's going on with all the boys these days? I know the mamas try to raise them right, but they just mess around on Friday nights. It's like they're all just playing one big game. What's going on with all the boys these days? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Boys these days.
Yeah, when I get back to Nashville, I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm actually put on my list, attend Erin Kirby live show.
Yes.
That is on there for the backstage pass, and we're going to definitely do that if you'll have us there as a guest. We'd love to be there. I would love to get there front row and watch you play all the great places down there. You have so much soul and just so much grit and just so much real authenticity to your voice. I love it so much. Guys, check her out, erinkirbymusic.com. And, of course, get out there and download the latest single we talked about earlier, Redneck Rich. And, of course, we're not going to get rich, but we're going to pay some bills here on the show here on the Backstage Pass. Our friends out at Bangtail Whiskey, bangtail.com. You can order it there online, convenience if you're on home. And, of course, easyliquor.com and our friends over if you're looking for something to do this weekend and you're in Texas, in my neck of the woods down here, a little town called Silsbee, Texas. HonkyTonkTexas.us, always great concerts, great drink specials, and good things out there. Check them out. Appreciate all the work that our sponsors do out there. HighTideCountry.net, and, of course, powered by the SportsGuys podcast.com. Back with football coming up this week. Some cool broadcasts this weekend for some football stuff. A lot of sports, man, and music. It's a big time of the year right now, October, with cooler temperatures rolling into as well. We'll take that break, of course, here on the show. More with Erin Kirby. Final segment coming up. We're also going to talk about one called Raised in a Barn. Cannot wait to hear the songwriting of that one coming up here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight. More to come. A word from Bangtail Whiskey.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show, Josh Turner. Next week, we'll talk about his greatest hits album. Came out September 8th, and a whole lot more there. He's on tour now. He's got a pretty cool guitar. Talk about it, just a beautiful guitar out there on his website, too. And I think I might just have to buy one of those because he looks so damn good out there, too. And just beautiful. Just all the legendary career he had. Tomorrow, we do a little things differently. Anybody remember an artist named Chingy back in the day? He did a song called Right There and had a whole bunch of hits out there. Chingy tomorrow on the show. And, of course, coming up this week, Alex Hall, another great singer-songwriter, on Friday. Back here with Erin Kirby. It is the Backstage Pass final segment presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Honky Tonk Texas. So let's talk about Raised in a Barn, because I'm curious to know everything about this, which was definitely a great feel-good tune, but definitely it spoke to a lot of country music fans out there, including myself, for someone who did grow up in the country.
Yeah, so Raised in a Barn is actually written about these boys that lived in a barn down the street from my house in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
They were all like the popular guys, and I figured, raised in a barn, you usually hear that in a negative way, at least for me growing up. It's like, you raised in a barn? If I was, maybe that's awesome. But I think about these guys who are the popular dudes. They're living in a barn. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would be a positive way to spin the saying raised in a barn. So it's all about loving country dudes and having that type and really appreciating our redneck cowboy dudes,
And I wasn't going to go that. I wasn't raised in a barn. I'm just saying, though, I had a barn that I worked on a farm out in the country here in Texas. So I know what it's all about with the cattle and pigs and horses and feeding your dogs and everything out there too, and growing up on a farm. But definitely I feel like I spent a lot of time out there on the land itself So I
Yeah.
could get a feel that I was like, when I wasn't in the barn, we were in the house. I wasn't in the house, we were in the barn. So we kind of knew a little bit of that feel for that song. All right, we'll do a little rapid fire, and I appreciate you always coming on too. Definitely, we're going to have you again here as soon as the new projects come out. As far as new music, what's your timeline? What are you looking for? Looking to push some singles out coming up here in a few weeks?
Definitely. So I just cut 5 brand new songs. So
Ooh,
within the next couple months, I'm hoping to put 1 to 2 more singles out. I'll kind of be testing those out on TikTok and whatnot. You know, you
okay.
can find me there, and that's kind of the plan for the new music. So we're definitely planning releases right now.
I love it too. All right, what does Erin Kirby like to do? Kind of the downtime, not doing music. What are some of the hobbies?
Oh, so my biggest hobby is eating Mexican food. I don't know if it counts as a
It
hobby, but
counts.
my goal was to eat Mexican food 7 days in a row. So I did
Wow,
that. I succeeded with that
you
goal.
did okay.
I was really proud of myself. So that's one of my hobbies. Another hobby would be, you know, like I said, I've been walking with my best friend. She and I've been walking every day. We walk off the Mexican food we eat. So
Hmm.
anything out in nature, whether that's hiking, taking a little walk, maybe biking if I feel like it. Um,
Yeah,
kayaking in the summer, just anything outside is like my favorite hobby.
I love that. All right, first song ever to sing live on stage. Could be a cover. What was it?
It was Someone Like You by Adele.
All right, and that you have to have great breath control to do a song like that, which I've seen your Instagram videos and also TikTok stuff, and you've got great breath control. What do you do to take care of your voice? I mean, how do you take so much great care of it? Do you do something that's kind of a remedy, or do you just drink a lot of water? What do you do?
Well, I do drink a lot of water.
All right.
I work with Mama Jan Smith down in Atlanta. She's my vocal coach, and
Hmm.
she's taught me a lot of random things that you would never know about the vocal cord. So before I sing, there's certain foods that I don't really eat, and one of the main ones is dairy, of course. And
Hmm.
then it's like potatoes, which you're not supposed to have nuts, granola, all these random things that you like can't eat before you sing because it messes with your vocals.
Hmm.
And I drink lots of water, take my vitamins. I drink tea. That's
Okay.
so basic, but some things are cheesy for a reason. So drink my tea. I do my vocal warm ups before I sing and vocal cool downs. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but it's important. It's my little friend, so I
That's
gotta
your
take
friend.
care of it.
I think that's what I was doing last week too. It's a tool that makes some money, like you a singer, be as a show host, radio. So I've got to take care,
Yeah,
especially when I'm out doing football games, because like weekly I'm doing play by play. So I'm
yeah,
calling how fast as football is, like I said, down and distance and all these different things, and painting a picture in the fans, heads out there that can't really see the ball game. So I got to take care of the instrument. That's why I asked that question a lot too. You have to, which is no doubt.
absolutely.
When it comes to other kind of fun things or like movies or series, kind of maybe some TV series or crime shows, mysteries, what do you get into on television?
So right now, I've been binge watching Golden Girls. I've been binging it on Hulu. Okay. And I also love to read. I
Okay.
started really loving reading over the summer, and I've read about 38 books
Wow.
since the beginning of the summer. So those are like my fun things.
I love that. Hey, you know what though? We need people that read more, no doubt, and definitely Golden Girls. Hey, can't knock it. One of the greatest shows of all time. Uh,
Fantastic.
Betty White, and of course that whole cast of ladies that put together such a hit show that it was too. Honestly, it's cool to go back and just watch some of the classics, and I love doing stuff like that. All right, favorite spot to eat out in Nashville? What restaurants do you like?
Oh my gosh. That is a tough question. My favorite place to eat in Nashville. That is like a Nashville restaurant? I mean, honestly, this is so sad if I say this, but I'm just gonna be honest. Las Palmas, it's a chain
Okay,
restaurant
yeah,
that
I've
is
had that.
where my best friends and I, we go there and we have the time of our life. Okay,
Mhm.
the hole in the wall Mexican restaurant.
It's good too. Yes, it's shame, but it's good. I've had it's good. Yeah. There's several of them in San Antonio, Texas. I spent a lot of time up there too in San Antonio, and definitely Las Palmas is one of the best out there. Well, I tell you what, she's just scratching the surface. I cannot wait for this next round of music to come out here in a few weeks. Redneck Rich across all the digital platforms out there, and make sure you give her a like on social media if you've not already, and check out AaronKirbyMusic.com. I told you this would be easy, no doubt, and looking forward to having you back on again to do this next time. Hope you had a great time, and hey, continue success going forward.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you taking the time.
You got it. Friends at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. We're back tomorrow at 4. Big show with global icon, superstar, rapper, actor. He's done it all, too. And a brand new album called Chinglish. We'll talk with Chingy here on the Backstage Pass. Alex Hall on Friday, Josh Turner next week. And then coming up here in a few weeks, hit songwriter Carolyn Don Johnson here on the Backstage Pass. We'll see you guys tomorrow, presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, Honky Tonk Texas. Until then, take care. Have a terrific night. See you soon.